It's Cecilia Towns, the Sporty Esquire, and you know when I get on the screen, it's time for another Workin' Women Wednesday. It's the series where I tell you the things I wish I knew when I was starting my career as an attorney, as an entrepreneur, and as an athlete. So if you've been following the series, which you should be, last week we talked about purpose, and I gave you 7 things to help you identify if you're walking in your purpose or not. I got some great feedback, some questions from that. But one of the sort of resounding themes was, all right, sis, you have showed me that I'm not working in my purpose. What now? Well, you know I don't leave y'all hanging. As a matter of fact, when I first started having my own sort of thoughts about my purpose and the purpose for Gladiators and the purpose for Beyond the Game, I devised a whole survey called the Purpose Survey. And it is designed to help you become introspective and start being intentional about figuring out what your purpose is. Now, the survey can take you sort of as long as you want to take you. What it isn't going to do is fit into this 10-minute segment. So what I've decided to do today is, on this episode of Workin' Women Wednesday, is to give you a few of the questions that are on the survey and then drop the link below the video so that you can have the purpose survey for free. So if you're interested in, being intentional about figuring out your purpose, you can download the Gladiators Purpose Survey and boom, get yourself on the right track. My student athletes, my clients who have used it before, they love it. So I'm sure you will too. So let's get started. Now that you've figured out you're not walking in your purpose, what now? The first thing I always suggest people to do is figure out what you're strong in, figure out your strengths. Usually your purpose is gonna allow you to rely on the things that you're strong in, right? When I first started sort of figuring out my life and figuring out what I really needed to do, one of the things that I was strong in that really just spoke to me was my ability to write, to be a good writer. Like, I went all the way back to high school, and I should not be telling y'all this right now, but I used to write papers for people in high school. They used to pay me to write their papers. I would write their papers. I got good grades in English, and I would help other people get good grades in English. But that was like early confirmation that this is something that you're really strong in, and this is something you might want to pursue. Undergrad, I ended up being an African American Studies major. Part of the reason I got into that was obviously I was interested in the subject matter, but I knew it was writing heavy. It was going to be heavy in writing, and I felt confident about that. Law school, being an attorney, it requires you to be a good writer. If you want to help your clients, you got to know how to write. And so it is a strength for me. And when I realized that I wanted to be more involved in the conversation behind women in sports, it was a no-brainer that I was going to do so by starting a blog, because I love to write and then I was good at writing. So do the same thing, because it's turned into so many other things. It's not just me writing for a blog. It's turned into me writing for ESPNW. It's turned into me, writing for other outlets. And it can do the same for you. Following your strength can absolutely do the same thing for you. One of the other questions in the survey is, what are the things that you actually like? So sometimes we forget that you can actually make a career out of doing what you like. Now, sometimes, your purpose and your passion don't always intertwine, but for a lot of people they do. And for me, I'm one of those people that they absolutely were able to collide. I remember very vividly when I was graduating from undergrad and about to go to law school, my dad was like, well, you need to go be a sports attorney. Like, you really know sports. And I was like, boy, please. I'm about to go out here and be the female version of Johnny Cochran and, hold the criminal justice system accountable. I didn't want to hear nothing about no sports. I was done with sports. Well, When I graduated from law school, it was 2009. The market was trash. Very few public defenders, very few state's attorneys were hiring. And so I found myself in a job that gave me a lot of time to think. And what I realized was I was running from sports, but I really needed sports. I miss sports, and I needed to figure out how to incorporate that into my life. That led me to GladiatHers. That led me to Beyond the Game. That's then led me to being on the board of Play Like a Girl, to writing for ESPNW, to attending these wonderful events. It's because I was finally following what I really enjoyed. And so sometimes for whatever reason, we run from the things that we naturally like, that we have an affinity for, in search of maybe money or in search of fame or in search of whatever, but don't do that. Figure out what you love to do. Figure out what you really have an affinity for and make that thing work. One of the other questions that I have my clients ask of themselves is, what are the things that there are actually weaknesses for them? So sometimes when you're walking in your purpose, and just in general in life, you're going to have to do things that you don't really like. You're going to have to do things that maybe don't come strong to you. But I think if you want to maximize your life and maximize your ability to walk in your purpose, you're going to try to avoid your weaknesses, or you're certainly going to figure out the workarounds for avoiding your weaknesses. I know one of mine is administrative things. I know God did not put me on this earth to be anybody's secretary. The people's phone calls wouldn't get answered. The people's emails wouldn't get, I just am not good at that. And so my workaround is to have interns help me with things, and to actually play little mind games with myself, to set aside time every day that I'm going to do administrative tasks, knock it out the way so that it's not sort of lingering over my head as this thing that I hate. You do the same thing. Figure out the things you're weak at, and don't try to force yourself to be better. If you're not good at math, stop trying to be somebody's accountant, okay? Because you're going to mess yourself up and you're going to mess other people up. Another question I have my clients answer is, well, what are the things that they dislike? Who wants to be miserable, right? So if you sit down and you figure out, well, I actually don't like singing. Why am I devoting so much time to, helping, perfect children's voices in the choir? That's not what I like doing. Why am I spending so much time on this? For me, I just despise monotony, right? I just am not the person that can do the same thing the same way every day. I'm the person that takes a different way home just because. I'm the person that wakes up at a different time just because. And so being an attorney is perfect for me, because although I work in employment and labor law, every fact pattern is different. Every client is different. Being an entrepreneur, every day I get something different to handle. So it's perfect for me. So I'm steering away from any job that will require me to do the same thing in the same way on a semi-regular basis. So do the same. Figure out what you don't like, and then, bust a U-turn, reverse, back it up like a U-Haul truck, on out of that thing. So that's it. Those are four of the numerous questions that the purpose survey will have you run through. Again, I'm giving it to you for free 99. So just take the survey, click the link, download it, and get yourself on the right track if you're not on the right track. Again, my name is Cecilia Towns. I'm the Sporty Esquire. This has been another episode of Workin' Women Wednesday. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video.